The co-main event in the evening on April 17th will be Reigis Prograis, who is a former 140-pound champion, who is undefeated, was undefeated until he faced Josh Taylor and lost a very close decision to him. And other than that, has never lost a fight. And of course, the Taylor fight was a very close fight that arguably could have gone either way. And the man he's taking on, Ivan Redkach, a contender in several weight divisions. This is his Super Bowl because a win here is vital to him to get back into a contending situation. And he's just coming off a decision loss to Danny Garcia, of course, one of the top fighters in the world. So let's bring them out to the stage now. Reigis Prograis and Ivan Redkach. Gentlemen, how are you? Reigis, how are you? Good to see you. Ivan, how are you? It's been my great honor to broadcast fights of both of these terrific fighters, and I'm thrilled that I'm going to have a chance to announce their fight on April 17th. Let me turn to Reigis first. You, in your last fight, beat Juan Heraldez and knocked him out. You were the first one to knock him out, and you're kind of using this fight as a way to reach a lot of people and market yourself to get back into another world title shot. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, very, very fair statement. Yeah, I mean, first off, I'm just thankful for this opportunity. You know, like this whole Triller card, this whole with the Jake Paul, with the YouTube stuff. I mean, it's a whole different market, and I'm glad to be a part of this stuff, and I'm happy. You know, and I just want to go out there and show the world like I am the best at 140. And I'm gonna keep saying it, and I just want to, one thing about me is, I say it, but I'm gonna keep proving it. So I'm happy. I'm very excited about this fight, and I can't wait.
And when you were on my show, we talked a little bit about how much you appreciate the whole concept of this event, of the musical part, and that you kind of at one point wanted to be a part of this, and so now you are.
Yeah, man. I mean, I saw, I was, of course, I think the first one, if I'm not mistaken, was with Mike Tyson and Roy Jones, and I talked to Roy. Roy's a friend of mine. And I mean, I was at home, I was at my house in New Orleans watching it. And, I saw, Jake Paul, knocked out Nate Robinson. I mean, listen, I have, I was telling you on your show, I have like a street team, right? And in New Orleans, and they've been trying to do something like this a long time ago, where it's an event, not you don't just have boxing as just regular boxing. Now you have a whole event going around. You have all these performers, and it's like an event. Just like I was telling you, sometimes only certain fighters is you have a real event. You have a Floyd Mayweather, a Manny Pacquiao, a Canelo Alvarez, maybe like somebody like Anthony Joshua over there. When they fight, it's an event. But now when you have you bringing all this stuff into it, all the artists, all the music, all the musical talents. This is turning into an event, and I think boxing been needed something like this to happen, and I'm glad to be a part of this.
Yeah, very well put. That's a very good point. We're going to turn to Ivan, and Anya Andrenko will translate as we talk to Ivan. Nice to see you, by the way, again, Anya. Now, you went the distance, Ivan, with Danny Garcia, and you couldn't quite get the job done. You have had a great career, except the big moments that you've gotten against major fighters, it hasn't quite worked out. What do you have to do to make that happen?
Бой с Дэнни Гарсией, но тебе немножко не хватило, чтобы доделать это до конца, чтобы добить его до конца. Какие ты примешь шаги сейчас, чтобы сделать то, что ты не сделал с боем Дэнни Гарсией?
Ну, скажу честно, что мне этот бой дали за 3 недели всего лишь.
I'll be honest with you, I got that fight only 3 weeks before the actual fight, so I didn't have enough time to prepare.
Поэтому у меня сейчас было 8 недель полных подготовки, и я буду в своей самой наилучшей форме.
Well, we understood it's not an excuse anyway, but at this time I had the full 8 weeks of camp, and I'm fully prepared.
Right, so you'll be well prepared. Now, this fight is interesting because we have two left-handers going get now, and you, Regis, I know have sparred before, so you guys are aware of each other. Two left-handers, it's different, isn't it?
Вы оба левши, и будет достаточно интересно посмотреть на то, что вы собираетесь сделать.
Да, мы спарринговали вместе, он отличный боец, и это будет зрелищная битва у нас 17 апреля.
You know, we sparred together, and it was a great sparring. Regis knows better than anybody else that it was a good sparring. I met him a little bit bleeding, but we'll see. April 17.
Well, we will for sure. And of course, as with every fight before this, we have questions from the audience. Kevin Ioli's out there, and he wants to chat with the fighters.
Hey, Regis, there was a question asked of Frank Mir before. You're kind of representing the MMA fans, and I wonder, you're probably the best fighter that has fought on this in terms of, active fighters. Do you feel like you're carrying the flag for boxing fans, like that you have to put, for people who may be watching because they're fans of the musical artists, or maybe they want to see how the MMA fighters do? Do you want to put on a statement of how good boxing could be at the highest level?
Of course. I mean, I'm always, every time I fight, I'm always looking to give a spectacular performance. So even, with this show, even more. So I'm definitely, I want to represent boxing well, and myself well, and give a spectacular performance.
And, one of the things that Triller has done so far, they haven't had a matchup like this where two top guys are meeting. Now we're going to have Lopez versus Kambosos. Do you think you're going to see other boxers try this and try to say, hey, let's go to fight at Triller Fight Club, and whatever that would do to your popularity with other, audiences that maybe don't know you now?
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of fighters gonna try to do this, man. I keep telling people I'm glad I got the call, and I'm pretty sure Ivan's glad he got the call too, because this is a huge platform, and then they're paying us all this damn money. So of course, yeah, I think a lot of other fighters they're gonna be trying to reach out. Man, I won't go fight on Triller. Because it's an event. Just like I keep saying, it's gonna be a whole event, and it's different from a regular boxing show. That's sometimes it can be boring if it's not a lot. I'm not saying it can be boring, but if it's not a mainstream fighter, a lot of people won't tune in. But with this, it's a whole event, so a lot of people is going to be tuned in. So yeah, just like I said, I want to give a spectacular performance.
Regis, I know you're a boxing historian. You follow the history of the sport very closely. There are some really hardcore boxing fans who don't like this because they don't, these hybrid fights, the musical artists fighting, NBA players fighting. And so that they think maybe you're kind of bastardizing yourself by doing this. How do you respond to them that fans of yourself, why are you doing something like this?
I mean, I'm not worried about that, man. I'm worried about my fight. That's the thing. I'm fighting a real fighter. That's what I know. I'm fighting, a real fighter. And then you got to look at, you can't look at the negative. You got to look at the positive, So the positive for me is that, you have Jake Paul that's coming in, but he has a whole ton of, just a whole different world out there. Popularity and famous is different these days. I was at the fight with his brother in LA, and man, it was kids there. You talk about 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old kids, not with their parents. They was all at the fight, So if you can have somebody that's gonna bring those type of fans, and with the old school boxing fans, I mean, it's a win-win. I think it's a win-win. And then just like you said, after we're coming in, getting these fights in, then I think more people, more real fighters not saying real fighters, not disrespecting anybody, but more boxers or MMA fighters, they're gonna try to come in and they're gonna try and be a part of Triller too, because like I keep saying, it's gonna be an event, not just a regular boxing match or a regular MMA fight. It's gonna be a whole event. So yeah, I think it's a good thing.
And my last question, to pick on your boxing expertise would be this. I saw BJ Flores on the way in, obviously he's training Jake, and he said Jake is going to look spectacular, but he's biased. You're a guy that knows what you're looking at. I know you said you watched Jake's fight against Nate Robinson. I mean, it was a little difficult for him, but did you see anything in Jake in that fight that tells you that he actually could box?
I mean, I don't know. I can't really say that, because he fought the first fight, he fought another YouTuber, right? In the second fight, he laid out Nate Robinson, So if he'll have a long way to go to, to getting with actual boxers. But, Man, these dudes are putting in work just like we are, you know. So you never know. From what I'm hearing, they all putting in work just like we are. So I mean, you never know what's gonna go on.
All righty, we're going to go out to our virtual press now and get another remote question.
Our first remote question is from the LA Times, Manuk Akopian.
Hey, Regis, a question for you. I know a lot of boxers that I talk to, they don't like to play second fiddle as far as being on the undercard or a co-feature. How do you feel about that, considering you fought Josh Taylor in a sold-out O2 arena as a world champion, and now you have to be a co-feature to a YouTuber? How do you feel about that?
I'm not worried about it at all, man. I don't care about that stuff. You know, I know I have to go out there and look spectacular and take care of business. You know, this Jake Paul is obviously he's very, very popular. So I'm not worried about being a undercard or nothing like that. That has no concern to me at all.
What else do we have from the remote?
We have from Viper Sport, Fuad Abdul Aziz.
Regis, just a couple of questions from me, mate. First one is, you've obviously spoken very highly of Triller there. How much of a threat do you think they'll be to the mainstream boxing? You know, in MMA, we see one sort of company run the whole show pretty much, mainstream-wise, the UFC. But in boxing, we don't have that. We have multiple organizations, multiple promotions. How much do you think Triller will have an effect on the whole boxing world?
I mean, I think Triller coming in strong, you know. I mean, you got this going on, and then, you know, from what I've seen, they just did they doing the Teofimo fight in Cambodia. So I think they coming in strong. I don't know how much of a threat they'll be, but from right now, it looks like it's gonna be, you know, they're gonna be one of the top people in the sport.
All right, we appreciate the questions and appreciate Ivan and Regis. Thank you, guys. We look forward to seeing your match on April 17th. Excited about it.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right. Now, in a moment or two,